Is yours. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Liaquat bhai. Bahut shukriya. Dear viewers, we are here with our 4th episode of Wisdom Bites from the platform of NAVAFIZ. First, let me introduce you the NAVAFIZ. NAVAFIZ is a platform, it's a volunteer network, and we are helping people. We are in partner in your success. We are working since 2013, and we are providing a platform, information, the guidance, the different. We are organizing different sessions for the job seekers and job hunting techniques in the UAE. And through this way, we are connecting professionals, different kind of professionals. We are connecting with the corporate world, and corporate world, we are giving an opportunity in the corporate world to reach out to the right kind of professionals. That is our mainstream job over here in UAE. And along with that, recently in this pandemic, we started this Wisdom Bites, and this is the 4th episode. And today we are talking about the keys to success. And I have very learned speaker with me, very experienced, very diligent speakers with me who will take over from here to the next level, and they will shed a light on the this keys to the success. And I'll just share a gist of this keys to success, and that is derived from the quote from Spinoza, and the gist is adaptability, flexibility, and innovation. And 3 of our learning speakers, they will speaking on this concept. Spinoza, first let me introduce you to the Spinoza. Spinoza is basically a Dutch scholar who born in 1632 and lived in this world only for 45 years. He is the early thinker of innovation and modern day technology. And he gave the world the new concept, the new ideas, and he was the one who broke the stereotypes of that time, and who went against the status quo of that time. And he challenged the old thinkings, old patterns of thinking, and old behaviors, and brought the new thinking. And he is the early thinker of this one, the innovation and the flexibility. So let me give the stage to our very learned speaker, and our first speaker of today is Mr. Saurabh. Mr. Saurabh is a product manager in the banking industry. He has very great ideas, and he has a thorough knowledge. He studied very hard, and he is the one who is giving life to this Wisdom Bites. Since from its first episode, if you have seen from the first till 4th episode, he is the one who is the mainstream pillar of this Wisdom from Bites. And his ideas and thoughts are uncomparable, unmatchable. When he spoke, he gave so much knowledge, so much energy, and so much wisdom to us. And we all learn from his insightful information. So let me invite him to shed a light on this, our today's quote. So Mr. Saurabh, stage is yours. First, just please explain the quote of today from Spinoza, and then let us learn about this one from your point of view and your thoughts on this one. Mr. Saurabh, now stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kamar, and thanks for the introduction and the welcome. Dear friends, the quotation from Dutch philosopher Spinoza that we are going to together discuss today is as follows. Be not astonished at new ideas, for it is well known to you that a thing does not therefore cease to be true because it is not accepted by many. Now, as you all know, we are living in what is called as a VUCA world, that is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. The present COVID environment that we are going through is a typical manifestation of this world because it impacts us in almost every manner, be it economic, social, or political. This environment also requires us to shun our conventional thinking and mindset and think of new ideas. Now, the quotation from Spinoza essentially challenges the concept of consensus and its relevance. I would like to draw an analogy from the world of cinema for this. And I would like to go back to the 1950 classic, which was made by Akira Kurosawa. The movie's name is Rashomon, and it essentially describes the same event, which is the death or murder of a samurai, as described from the eyes of 4 different eyewitnesses. Now, while these eyewitness accounts are all 4 different and in fact contradictory, they are so compelling that the viewer is inclined to believe in each one of them. In fact, the movie led to coining of a new term called the Rashomon effect, which essentially implies that our perspectives are biased or subjective, and also highlights the inherent unreliability of eyewitnesses. Now, going back to the quotation from Spinoza that we are going to discuss today, there are essentially three metrics along which we'll have to discuss it. First is innovation, second is flexibility, and third is adaptability. So I would like to look at it first from the perspective of innovation. In the present COVID environment, while there are tremendous challenges, there are a number of organizations that are moving ahead of the curve by innovating. And I would like to give three examples. The first example comes from the world of retail banking. Kotak Mahindra Bank, a leading mid-sized bank in India, has launched what is called as a video KYC process for onboarding new customers for opening of new savings accounts. Given the fact that in the COVID environment, it is difficult to meet customers and complete the KYC process, it is exactly the solution that's the need of the hour. The second solution or example of innovation in the environment comes from banking again, this time from corporate banking. Citibank has tied up with a Boston-based payments firm called Flywire for implementing a B2B or business-to-business payment solution for cross-border payments. These payments are made towards purchase of PPEs, or what are called as personal protective equipments, from a China-based distributor. So far, over 1.4 million such PPE kits have been purchased, and the payments are getting executed in the matter of a few hours instead of days. Any delays in execution of such payments would have meant an opportunity of saving precious lives getting lost. Moving on to the third example of innovation in the present environment, this example comes from the world of Internet of Things, or IoT as it is called. AT&T and BrainCorp have partnered together and have developed a IoT-enabled autonomous robot system, whereby these robots are used for shopping malls, grocery stores, and airports, and are ensuring that the environments remain clean, and also ensuring that the employees are protected from the possible risk of coronavirus infection. So that's another example of how organizations are innovating to stay relevant and move ahead of the competition in their respective areas. Now moving on to the second metric of Spinoza's quote that we are looking at today, which is flexibility. As I have said, in today's world, organizations and individuals need to be flexible and move away from their conventional thinking. There are two examples of flexibility that come to my mind in this area, and the first pertains to banking, while the second pertains to the game of cricket. When I was working with a leading bank in India, we came across a complex requirement from a leading insurance company. The company had policyholders across the length and breadth of the country, and they wanted to make check payments to them. The challenge was that the bank was not physically present at several of those locations. However, with the help from our operations team and the relationship teams, I was able to structure an innovative solution that allowed this mandate to be executed through a partnership with a partner bank, or what is called as a correspondent bank. The solution not only addressed the client need to make the payments, we were also able to offer them an online validation of these checks before the checks eventually got paid. Now, had we not been flexible in our approach towards addressing the client need, we would have not got this client mandate. The complexity of the solution can be gauged from the fact that it took almost 1 year of the solution from conceptualization to the actual implementation. Now, moving on to the second example of flexibility, I would like to go back to the 1992 Cricket World Cup, where New Zealand skipper Martin Crowe adopted two very unconventional strategies. The first strategy that he adopted was to open his bowling attack with an off-spinner, Deepak Patel. The second unconventional strategy that he adopted was to send an attacking left-handed batsman, Mark Greatbatch, to open the batting and attack the opposition fast bowlers from the word go. It was mainly because of these two unconventional strategies or approaches that New Zealand was able to reach the semi-finals of the 1992 World Cup. In fact, flexibility is a great quality to have for a working professional because it allows him or her a chance to adjust to changes in the working environment, whether it is working with a new line manager who comes with a completely different mindset or style of working, or adjusting to changes in the organization structure which require an individual to work on new or additional areas which one has not worked in before. In fact, if one can demonstrate flexibility to the present organization or to a prospective employer, one can stay always ahead of the competition. This brings me to the third aspect of Spinoza's quote, which is adaptability. In the various examples that I have given so far, I have looked at examples where individuals or organizations have benefited by thinking out of the box. Now, I would like to give a couple of examples of highlighting potential losses in case an organization or individual is not adaptable. The first example comes from the world of sports again, but this time it is hockey instead of cricket. The Indian hockey team had won the Olympic gold 8 times between the years 1928 and 1980. However, since the year 1980, the team has never won an Olympic gold. So, what had changed around that time which led to this? What had changed around the year 1980 was the surface on which the game of hockey was being played. It had changed from grass to synthetic astroturf. The Indian hockey team was not able to adapt quickly to the new surface and consequently lost out to teams from Europe and Australia whose game was better suited to the new surface. The second example of what an organization can pay or cost to be incurred by an organization if the organization is not adaptable comes from Kodak. In fact, this example is given as a case study in several leading business schools. Kodak was a market leader in the photo film industry for over a century, and in fact, the company came up with the world's first digital camera in the year 1975. However, the organization's senior management made the mistake of not understanding the changing landscape of their environment. The business environment was changing radically, and it was moving towards digital. In the 2000s, newer players such as Fujifilm came into the market and took the market share away from Kodak by launching cost-effective digital solutions. So much so that Kodak had to file for eventual bankruptcy in the year 2012. So these are a couple of examples which came to my mind in terms of what organizations or teams can pay for, can pay or can suffer if they are not adaptable enough to the changing environment. I would like to conclude by referring to a famous quote from Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent one. It is the species that is most adaptable to change. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saurav. What a wonderful speech, and what's the way forward? I would just like to quote here Dr. Muhammad Iqbal from Pakistan. He said, rather from India, because he died in 1937. At that time, there was no Pakistan. So he said, ना समझोगे तो मिट जाओगे हिंदुस्तान वालों, तुम्हारी दास्तान तक ना होगी दास्तानों में. So just we need to understand, we need to adapt. If we don't adapt, we cannot survive. And this one future is just upon us. Like we are seeing another revolution in this technological industry, and this pandemic, this just has fast forwarded this one. This was we were expecting in like maybe in 2-3 years, but now it's not 2-3 years. This is just ahead of us. Like it may be in the months. Like we are going through this process in the months, but we were expecting in the years to come. But anyway, thank you very much, Saurav. I really appreciate and how you have highlighted. And I have just received a message also from Shevasan. He said great points and insights, Mr. Anand. I'm sure Kamar would agree to all this. Definitely, Shoaib, I do agree what Saurav has said and what you have explained, and thank you very much for your appreciation also. So, Shoaib is, a motivation for many. He is an influencer, and thank you, Shoaib, for commenting over here. Now, let me move further and let me go to our next speaker, Miss Saira. Miss Saira is a first-rated speaker, and she is a motivational speaker as well. She is a psychologist. She is a counselor, and if you ask me like how to describe her, she is the best in her field, and she will definitely add value towards us. From NAVAFIZ platform, NAVAFIZ is always ready to be partner in your success. Only two people in this world, or only two organizations in this world want your success more than you. One is your parents, and second one is NAVAFIZ, of course, because your success is our success. Our success depends on your success. Same like your parents. Your parents' success depends on your success. If you are successful, your parents are certainly successful. Same is the case with NAVAFIZ. So we are always there to support you to get success as much as you can and as early as you can. And in this process, in this journey, this is one a tool from our side that we are giving you the way of thinking. We are just helping you that how you can think forward, how you can think innovatively. And we have arranged very great speakers, very fabulous speakers, very extraordinary speaker, frustrated speaker from the industry. And Ms. Saira Manaf, I'll just request you to please shed the light, as already explained by Saurabh, but we just want to know your point of view in this regard. And I believe you will definitely add value towards our viewers. Thank you very much, Ms. Saira. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Kamar. On that note, I would say, since I've been with academia and community and practice a lot as well, so same applies to us. Our students, our clients' success is our success. That's how we gauge, how effective we have been. So the quote under discussion is by Spinoza, and we're talking about, "Be not astonished at new ideas, for it is well known to you that a thing does not therefore cease to be true because it is not accepted by many." To put it in simple words, I guess what we're discussing is, let's not wait for others' mass approval for new ideas in their pursuit. I'll, as usual, begin with addressing the skeptic in all of us first. So we want to put it out there that we are very mindful of the word new ideas, or the word new itself that's mentioned over here. So we understand that new over here is not a synonym for useful. We're not saying that every new idea is and will be useful. We're also aware of the fact that new is not the synonym for better. Like, it could be better, it could be worse. We understand that history doesn't necessarily move in a linear progressive manner. There have been ups and downs. So an idea from at times could be better as compared to a recent idea. We understand that while we are discussing this. Also, we're not claiming that new is a synonym for relevant. Sometimes a new idea maybe is not as relevant to the problems and issues of current day and age as compared to something that wasn't so new. So we understand that sometimes new can turn out to be good, and sometimes it could just easily be as bad. But we want to invite our listeners to have a look at it from growth perspective. We want to be able to see that how maybe some new ideas, they don't necessarily need the community's approval before you go on to their in-depth exploration and pursuit. Let me give you a couple of examples here. Like Aristotle, he's a known philosopher. People consider him to be the wisest of the wise. And even in the series of Wisdom Bites, he was probably one of the first philosophers that we discussed. He thought of Earth as a stationary center of the universe. So, which isn't true. So with all his wisdom, that was his belief, and it was Copernicus in 16th century who actually presented the heliocentric view of Earth, saying that Earth actually moves around the sun. And we may be aware of the fact that Giordano Bruno was burnt alive, literally burnt alive, for believing and teaching this heliocentric view that Earth moves around the sun. And it took the scientists a couple of centuries to convince us masses that that's how it actually works. Same is the issue with cars or airplanes or other stuff that was introduced. People believed when cars or airplanes came in that if we travel beyond a certain speed, we are likely to die. And let me quote you something recent as well. This wasn't too long ago, or so do I believe. We go back to our school time. We were very confidently taught in our science courses that atom is the smallest particle. And now, not so many years later down the line, we're talking about subatomic particles. We have the discussion of Large Hadron Colliders. We have this CERN lab spanning across 3 countries in Europe. And atom is no longer the smallest particle that we agree with. So the new ideas do get resistance. The point to convey is that new ideas will not readily be accepted by everyone around us. And if I go back to an earlier point that I discussed, with critical thinking and with reflection, we can probably weigh them properly. We can see how useful they might be for us and how we can benefit from them. And for me, the focus of this discussion would be how can we draw lessons from this for our personal and professional growth. And the talk will be limited to the professional and technological domains. I'm not going to talk about the new fashion stuff or the luxuries here, not my domain. But it is the demand and the need of the current upcoming era to stay up to date with certain advancements that are happening around us. Andrea Clark, just recently I was going through this book, Future Fit. She talks about certain things which are important, certain elements that will make us stay relevant to the field. Otherwise, we are likely to go obsolete, because this is not the time and day, this is not the era where you would spend 16, 20, 25 years studying in schools, colleges, universities, then stop your learning process over there, and based upon that learning, in the next 4 decades, you make your career, you earn, and you progress. We are beyond that, because as they say, the rate of change is exponentially faster than the human learning curve. Eric Astro, the CEO of the Google secret research company X, he rightly pointed out that human adaptability grows as a steady progressing line, whereas technology's progress, it shoots up away from the rate of human adaptability. So if we don't adapt fast, we'll find it difficult to navigate the future. And all we're trying to say is we are here to encourage the creative thinkers. We are here to encourage the entrepreneurs to go with their new ideas, and for us masses, for people in general as well. Let's discuss the leadership styles. Again, earlier on, the idea of leadership was synonymous to being a boss, or you would make sure that people who work for you are intimidated by you. You were supposed to control them in a manner of leading them. But that concept of leadership doesn't really exist anymore. It just doesn't work anymore. We're looking at growth leadership now. Ideally, a person who's a leader has to make the company grow together with him or her. So you have to be considerate, you have to be kind, you have to be giving, and you have to focus on growing together. That collaborative growth is the essence of even survival in this day and age. And let us give you an example. Let me just share an example of our own academic in the field of counseling. Just recently, as you know, a few months ago, we moved to e-learning and all. And we as counselors, we see ourselves making Bitmoji Google Slides classrooms. The same Bitmoji, the same Snapchat and all that we thought was limited to the teenagers, that a lot of the people thought were just a distraction and nothing else. We are making use of the same technology to be able to connect with those people, because we want to make sure that we don't lose that connection. We don't stop conveying them the message, which is essential. We see ourselves making virtual calming rooms. Those are the e-places kids can go to access resources, to control their stress and anxiety. So we're doing all of that. And I guess I'll say that Stephen Hawking, as he says, intelligence, as he defines the definition of intelligence itself, is the ability to adapt to change. It's nothing else but that. So I want to be able to share a few strategies here for these really readily used words, which are innovation and creativity, because I understand that flexibility, adaptability, innovation, creativity, a lot of the times these words are easier said than done. So if you're not somebody whose forte it's their forte already, you'll have to begin from somewhere. And I would like to share a few strategies that can get you started from here right now. So some tips to keep ahead of rapid innovation, 3 of those. The first one would be to engage. Now, this is your proactive engagement with what's going on, not just your own field, but in general. So what's happening in the technological development, getting familiar with the ideas and fresh perspectives, That's the need, and it will keep your innovation sort of stream activated as well. Second tip is to activate. So when you feel the winds of change blowing, learn to embrace them quickly. So identifying opportunities that come with change rather than focusing on the negatives and like, oh my God, this is different from what I was used to, getting out of that comfort zone. And the third one is release. Just letting go of anything that might be holding you back. It could be the fear of future, it could be a fear of failure, or failure. It could be a fear of acceptance as well. Like, will this be accepted by the society? And 3 tips for boosting your creativity now. The first one is forced adaptation. To put it simply, when was the last time that you tried something for the first time? So staying in touch with this learning of new skills, having an attitude, literally a habit of lifelong learning, of never thinking yourself an absolute complete expert of something. So leaving room for improvement all the time. The second thing that will help you boost your creativity is visualization. Now, this is something that we do a lot in our leadership development trainings as well. If you are able to imagine something, if you're able to think about it in your head, you're able to visualize it, that means at one point or the other, you will be able to do it. And the failure is something that we always say, using the growth mindset approach, it's not to be scared of. It's, you learn from failures. It's an opportunity to learn. And then using constructive feedback, you retry with better learning and with more motivation at times. The third activity, or the third thing that you need to boost your creativity, is emotional regulation. And this is especially more pertinent in this COVID scenario. But in short, in simple words, we need to be able to manage our own selves. We need to be leaders of our own self before we can even think of leading the people around us, in our family, in our community, at our workplaces. So the leaders have to figure out how will they become leaders, growth leaders of their own selves before they expand their scope and become leaders for others. So I would just end it here. It could be your personal branding, it could be your communication, networking, creativity, problem solving, whatever we want to pick as our first area of improvement. I would say, without waiting for other people's approval, just dive into it. You'll be good.
Thank you very much, Saira. Thank you for your time, efforts, energy, and I'm really thankful on behalf of NAVAFIZ and on my personal behalf as well that you spared your time. You spared your time for the people as a volunteer activity, and definitely preparing all this stuff, giving such kind of insightful information. It is not easy and it doesn't come straightforward. You have to put a lot of time to gather all this information and to share with our viewers. It was really a great speech, a really inspiring one. I would just like to ask our viewers, please mention in the comments what you like the most about Saira's today's speech and what you want to learn more about these concepts. And future is just upon us. We are just heading towards the new emerging technologies are coming, and it is bringing all the new challenges, but at the same time, it is bringing new opportunities for us. And when I will move forward to Hassan, I will explain that how Hassan, for example, from Saira's speech, I would like to know your comments about when was the last time you tried something the first time. So please mention in the comments box, when was the last time you tried something first time? We'd like to know from your side also. And this is, a new wave and new area of creativity for your creativity improvement, and you will learn. Thank you very much, Saira. Really appreciate. Thank you very much for your time. Now I would like to, invite. Now I would like to introduce our very own, very close to my heart, our learned speaker, professional, a motivational speaker, and he's influencer. He is an intellectual, and as I was explaining before, the digital age is upon us and bringing with it our challenges, but also opportunities. And let me tell you, Hassan is from finance field and from accounting profession. And being an accountant, I myself is an accountant. We are in a unique position to harness the power of these technological advancements and expand our role of value steward into creating value. So this is the role accountants are going to play in the near future for the organization and adding value in the lives of the people and for the corporations. So I would like to request Hassan for to shed light on this innovation and technology and new advancement. Hassan, stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, my dear mentor, Kamar, for giving me the opportunity. So, firstly, I must thanks to all our listeners who are giving positive feedback to our Wisdom Bite session. That is encouraging me and even my fellow speakers to come up with more informative and productive session that will benefit our listeners and create positive impact in their lives. So, now moving on to my today's discussion, the quote under discussion for Spinoza is, that be not astonished at new ideas, for it is well known to you that a thing does not therefore cease to be true because it is not accepted by others. So what I learned from this quote, if I will, what I learned from this quote is that if you want to attain success in your career, you must accept and adopt to constant change. Yes, I mean to say constant change, but as it's under discussion, it's enlightened by Saira and Saurabh also, that there are the three main key factors that are important for the success. That is innovation, adaptability, and flexibility. So today I will enlighten more about the adaptability rather than flexibility and innovation, because and I will come up with what is adaptability and what skills if you have that will help you to proficiently apply adaptability to any scenario. And I will come up with 5 ways, if someone want to improve the adaptability skills, how they can improve their adaptability skills. But before I will start with this, I just want to enlighten how innovation and flexibility can play a vital role to the success. Like Steve Jobs said, innovation uh, innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. So like if you will consider current situation, the companies or the individuals who are innovative, who are innovative, who are not letting their to be goals to be disturbed because of these circumstances, they are creating an opportunity out of this situation. They are coming up with the innovative approaches to make the things done, and the businesses, they are coming up with the innovative products. Like previously there was no such thing as grocery deliveries, but now the companies, e-commerce industry, they are increasing they are like advancing their product range, so that they can cater their clients more perfectly. And if I will talk about flexibility, like flexibility, I just want to say a little about flexibility. Like if you are flexible, that means you are open to success and you are open to opportunity. The people who are rigid, they close their doors or opportunity to be successful. So flexibility is a very good thing. If you are flexible, flexible, you will figure out 100 ways to make the things done to attain your goals. So right now let me discuss about adaptability. So like if I will consider current exceptional circumstances, now I can confidently say that the people who will survive and gain from this tough time will not be the one who are the strongest one, yes, the strongest one or the most intelligent one, but the one who will survive are the one who are the best manage the change. And and in and if you want to manage the change, if you want to manage the change, and change management requires to demonstrate the top skills of current times, that is adaptability. Now it's here's the question: what is adaptability? Adaptability is being able to adjust to any situations at any given times. So professionals with adaptability skills and the businesses with competent change motivators will get competitive advantage in this upcoming era of fourth industrial revolution. Adaptability skill can include a variety of skill set that can essentially help you adopt and deal with change in a positive and proactive way. Some of these important skills are basically communication skills. Actually, adaptability is a combination of many skills. So if you want to be proficient in adaptability skills, in the parallel to adaptability skills, you must have proficiency in these skills also. And what are these skills? I will discuss. I will first list it out, then I will discuss a little relevant to current situation with some examples one by one. So if adaptability basically is the combination of communication skills, now interpersonal skills and problem solving skills, then creative and strategic thinking skills, and teamwork and organization skills. So if I will talk about communication skills, the people with adaptability skills, they know how well and timely you have to communicate in crisis scenario. Like for example, if I will talk about the finance professional, the finance professionals who are mostly in treasury and cash flow side, who has good adaptability skills, they communicate to their management timely. Now what how we have to manage the cash flow in this current scenario, which irrelevant cost we have to cut it out immediately, and what measures we have to take for the cost reduction, and how we can attain the cost efficiency. So if the companies who have the leaders, finance leaders with adaptability skills, they communicate to their management timely how to manage the cash flow that will let their company survive. They communicate the sustainability of the company also timely. So they don't wait for the time to become. They take precautionary measures before time, so that the time they can face that time uh, strongly. And if I will talk about other things, like interpersonal skills is also important to apply in parallel with the adoption skills. So interpersonal skill is how smart you can resolve a conflicts with team, and how well you can handle the situations to avoid miscommunication. Like the best example to demonstrate a good level of interpersonal skill is that in this situation um, where everyone is stressed and frustrated, if you will still manage, if you are a team leader, you will still manage your team positively. Instead of giving them more stress, you will buck them up, and you will give them the hope that this time will pass and you will get rid of the situation through a team effort. That is also a good demonstration of interpersonal skills. And moving on to problem solving skills, like basically problem solving skill is the skill that require in this scenario effectively. Like now there are many, previously we used to have conventional ways of doing the job, but right now due to this COVID-19, many of the conventional approaches you cannot use. Even though you work for operation line or finance side, you have to work some out of the box approaches to complete, to make the reports completed timely, or submit or meet the timelines timely, timely, to avoid any delay in decision making. So that requires a good problem solving skills. So a problem solving skill is basically your out of box approach and ability to analyze any situation and solve appropriately with optimal resources. And then this adaptability skills require creative and strategic thinking skills also. So basically creative and strategic thinking based approach in order to adopt to win instead of
some technical error with the Hassan Farooq. So I think maybe we can proceed further. Kamar, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Liaquat. And Hassan was giving very insightful information, and how organized he was, like in his speech. We all can commend. This is a commendable performance given by Hassan, and I must thank you to Hassan for giving time, for giving his energy, and definitely for adding value towards our viewers and job seekers and the people those are listening to this show. This was very informative, and it was at the same time very organized as well from Hassan's side, that he has written the points, point 1, point 2, point 3, same wise like Saira was giving us the strategies, 1, strategy 2. The Hassan is like he has demonstrated a great performance, and we must be thankful on behalf of NAVAFIZ that he has spared his time, and due to some technical issues he could not conclude. Before I request the founder of NAVAFIZ, Liaquat Ali, for his concluding remarks, I would just ask our today's learned speaker for a brief conclusion. So first I would like to request the Saurav for a brief conclusion in 1 and 2 sentences. Then I would like to request Saira, and in the end, I would like to request the founder of NAVAFIZ, Mr. Liaquat Ali, for a concluding remarks. So Mr. Saurav, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kamar. I would like to give 2 perspectives very quickly. The first is in the nature of a clarification. So while we have discussed and debated the importance of new ideas, it is very important for organizations to evaluate any new idea along the metrics of cost benefit. So the cost and benefit analysis needs to be done, and it needs to be clearly understood the qualitative or quantitative aspects associated with a new idea before deciding to embark on that. So I think that's very critical. The second is actually an inspirational post that I came across yesterday from Jeff Weiner, who was the outgoing CEO of LinkedIn. He had posted his last message on his LinkedIn profile, and he used a particular word called Ubuntu, U-B-U-N-T-U, U-B-U-N-T-U. It is an African tribal word which essentially means humanity. And Jeff Weiner used it to describe, saying that I am because we are. So what he was essentially thanking all the stakeholders, his employees, and people who have benefited from the platform and so on, for whatever benefit he derived and whatever contribution he was able to make as a leader while he was part of LinkedIn. So I was trying to link this with our present quotation of Spinoza, in that all the new ideas that we have to have a buy-in of all the stakeholders. And it is only when we take inputs and feedback from everybody involved that we will be able to take that idea to a proper fruition or closure. So these are the 2 points that I'd like to add.
Thank you very much, Saurav. You literally deserve, our great salute and our heart for giving the time and for giving us very great information and great ideas, great examples. Thank you very much, Saurav.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Now I would like to request Ms. Saira for her concluding remarks over today's session. Ms. Saira, stage is yours.
I just want to add my perspective with regards to not seeking external approval all the time with regards to your new ideas, because we have several examples from decades and centuries that some people just think ahead of the regular masses, and that's what makes you successful. When Google had this new leadership like 2 decades ago, where the leadership style was changed, people would look at that person strangely, saying that, well, this person is going to lose all of the team. They're not going to listen to him because he is not being the bossy boss as you're supposed to be. And I usually don't bring in religion, but I think back to the incident of Miraj, several years, God knows how many hundreds of years ago. And it's only many hundreds of years after that the theory of relativity, through that we were able to prove the possibility of such things happening. So people who are a part of this world, but they think ahead of time, I believe it's important for them to believe in their ideas and just move forward, because when these new innovative ideas, they succeed, people catch up. So if you become a part of the ordinary, if you become a part of the herd, then you'll be limited to that part. And we need to manage the talk that we have with ourselves in order to do that. We need to make sure that the messages that we are giving ourselves, they're positive. And as long as our today is better than our yesterday, I believe we are on the right learning track. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Saira. Thank you very much for giving us a unique perspective. And dear viewers, you don't need approvals of anyone. Go ahead and lead them and just move forward and manage the leaders. You are the leaders. Yeah. So, but don't seek the approvals. But don't forget, you must seek approval of your wife. If you don't have wife, you are lucky. That is important. So I'll move forward to our next speaker, Hassan. There was due to a technical glitch, we could not get full conclusion from your side. So I would just like to request if you have a few brief concluding remarks from your side, so it will just add value to our viewers and to our lives. Thank you very much, Hassan. Yours.
Thank you so much. First of all, I apologize with the audience that they are not able to hear me completely. So I must say that adaptability is the simple secret of survival. So if you want to survive in this current era, you must learn and you must improve your adaptability skills. And you can put tangible efforts to improve your adaptability skills. There is a 5-way approach. You can I will just, because considering the time constraint, I will just enlighten the 5 ways approach you can improve your adaptability skills. So in order to improve your adaptability skills, the first way is to be aware of change in your environment. So whenever you feel the change, try to understand why there is a change and what you can do, how you can perform same or even do better in this change environment. And then you must develop a growth mindset also, is the second way, in order to improve your adaptability skills. So you must learn the new skills now in this current situation. If you must learn, previously it was difficult with us to communicate or present to our management over phone or Zoom or virtual background. So developing a growth mindset means open to the new skills and always try to add new skills into your portfolio. And then you must set goals for yourself to demonstrate a good level of adaptability means you always have to polish good sides of you, but same time you always have to identify your weaknesses, and you have to work hard enough uh, to overcome all your weaknesses. So you must set a goals for yourself to overcome all of your weaknesses, and then you must ask for a feedback. The people who succeed, they always take their constructive criticism with open heart. So you must be open to know from your managers and from your teammates that where you can which areas you can focus to play a vital role in your team. And last but not the least, so learn to acknowledge and accept the change. So you must learn how to acknowledge and accept the change. So if you like, let's suppose if I will give a final example, Vox cinemas, they now started in Dubai drive-in cinemas. So they learn very fast that these things are not going to change. So they accept the change, and they come up with their change motivators come up with a good approach to get something rather than getting nothing. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you for giving a great perspective on this quote and our today's topic. And you just enlightened us. And the thing with the examples you have given and how you explained, and this, innovation is a new adaptability. And if you want to survive, and if you want to thrive in the new era, then you need to adapt the new technologies and new innovations and new things which are happening around us. and you need to bring some perspective, and you need to adapt new ways of living and new ways of performing and new ways of doing business. This will help you to thrive in the new era and post-COVID, what we are talking so many things on all these things. Thank you very much, Hassan. Now I would just like to we are just moving forward to conclude this session, and I would like to request the founder of NAVAFIZ, Mr. Liaquat Ali, for his concluding remarks on today's session. Thank you very much, dear speakers. I really appreciate and I'm really thankful for your time and for your efforts. And we are also at the same time thankful to the audience. And we are, we are very much ambitious for your success. And we are wishful that you succeed as early as possible. Mr. Liaquat, now floor is yours. There is no floor, but there is a mic.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the show today. It was great and very learning points. I just want to highlight one point that overall we just need to focus that actually what we are trying to achieve via these wisdom bite sessions, and plus what is the takeaway for the audience. And especially I like when Saira gave the assignment to the audience and even ourselves also, that what was the last time when you tried something for the first time. So this is something which we are learning and we need to improve step by step. So overall we exceeded our targeted time, and we have to close this. We were supposed to close it in 30 minutes, but anyway we exceeded a lot, and we didn't feel it. The overall debate and discussion was so interesting. I would just like to say thanks to all. Thank you very much. And I would just request to stay in the backstage, and we will just say goodbye to audience, and then we will conclude the session. By this note, I would just say thank you very much.